Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Colorado Combat Club 27. I'm Jordan Kurtz. You can follow me along online at Comments from the Peanut Gallery. I am joined here alongside the Armenian Nightmare, one of also our retired champions of the Colorado Combat Club cage, longtime tried and true pro in the area, also manager to a lot of fighters within this footprint here in Colorado. We have Art Petrosian. Art, how you doing, my man?
Good. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so excited to be able to be here for our stacked card today. We have 16 fights on the schedule. It is going to be an incredible date of fights. It's going to be headlined today by a couple of very battle-tested veterans in the process. We have a former Division I wrestler in Xavier Vasquez, who trains out of Colorado. He has taken on Joshua Mercado. Josh Mercado comes up to us by way of Florida. Josh Mercado does some training at a few different places down in Florida, one of them being Killcliff FC. Also, just fun thing to point out, and talking to him in pre-fight interviews the other day, there's the RAF, the Real American Freestyle event going on today. He spent some time training in the past with Pat Downey, so he's got a little bit of wrestling in his tool belt too, so it's going to be interesting to see how those styles clash when we get to that main event today. We also have a title fight in the amateur ranks for the Flyweight bout today. That is going to be going down between Darius Robinson taking on Tristan No Comparison Harrison. Folks, keep it locked all day. Give us a follow along online at CO Combat Club on Instagram. We also have the TikTok rolling, and you can check out our post-fight interviews with our man Clive. Clive is followed at CliveDC_.
Making his way to the cage, Alex Rodriguez.
For this first fight today, we have Alex Rodriguez, who is taking on Bradley Nevarez. Bradley Nevarez representing Zinganos. This first bout of the day is contracted at 125 pounds in the elimination ranks. So as far as that goes, folks, that means that as amateurs, there are no elbows or knees to the head. Now in the state of Colorado, there is an addition to the rules that has been recently implemented over the recent time period where you can start to elbow now, but it has to be to the body. You just you cannot do that to the head at all as far as the amateur ranks goes. We will have some of those professional bouts later on within the card where you will see the full tilt of the rule set.
Yeah, I like that, man. I mean, let them start using the elbows to the body and get used to that before they turn pro.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more roughneck in that, Art. I love the states that allow for the full rule set, but I also understand where the safety element comes into play for some of these guys. Hey, they're just dipping their feet into it, and they don't want to be completely emaciated by some elbows, if you will. Some of these guys that might have a strong background that may just have a little bit more experience in that department than their counterparts, or some of these guys are making their way over to MMA after being, maybe say like a Class A Muay Thai fighter where they do have the full run of the rules and they're used to using the elbows on the feet as well. So I understand the element of the safety that comes into play here, but I also love when there's the amateur fights in, say, Nebraska, Wyoming, New Mexico, some of those where you get the full run of it too.
Yeah, I like seeing that too. And in Nebraska, I believe from the debut, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe they can add something where if you got 3 MMA fights, we'll let you throw elbows to the head or something like that.
I'm always for adopting and trying to make things better.
Fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at a ready 122.6 pounds. He represents Denver Modern Jiu-Jitsu. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Alex Rodriguez!
Rodriguez representing Denver Modern Jiu-Jitsu. He's got Doomsday Donnie Westman as well as Zach Hare over there in this corner.
Let's have a good clean fight. Pressure him up.
Yeah, both old school veteran fighters. Zach was one of the first amateur fights I ever saw back in 2010, I want to say.
Comes full circle, right?
Yeah.
Third man in the cage for this first fight. Tim, if he dies, Mills.
Rodriguez on the double right away. Ooh, beautiful takedown, but he's caught up in a guillotine.
Guillotine, and doesn't look like he's completely panicked in that mode yet. The guard is opened up from Nevarez.
That cage is going to make it hard for him to finish. There he goes. He gets out of it and he's working up. Oh, nice short shots by Rodriguez.
Good use of the arm pull right there to be able to end up in that top position, now sitting in Nevarez's guard. Starting in on a head and arm, but it's tough also when you have the cage right there and still in his guard.
Yeah, and these guys, you know, being newer, I believe Rodriguez has one fight, right? One MMA fight. Oh, beautiful slam.
Big double leg there. Well, we know what Rodriguez's game plan was.
Yeah. Nevarez in on the guillotine again. See if he, oh.
This one's a little bit more nasty, but level change now, working back down for Rodriguez in the process.
He needs to circle off the cage and try and put Rodriguez. Oh, that is tight. He gets out of it.
Works himself out. Tim Mills takes a little shot in the process.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened before.
High kick from Nevarez.
Let's see if Rodriguez burned a lot of energy going for takedowns. See how he looks on the feet here.
Certainly the aggressor. Big left hand. He's swinging away. But you mentioned potential fatigue factor. It's Nevarez who has his mouth open right now.
Yeah.
Oh, another big right hand lands for Rodriguez.
There he is. Nevarez in on the guillotine again.
Yeah, and that's always going to be a risk when you're shooting with your head down on the outside too as well, right? As opposed to maybe going ear to heart in the approach or in your fit-in, if you will.
Yeah, I think maybe because he's shooting on the cage, he's not too worried about it. But definitely want to stay out of that, you know.
Certainly. I mean, but to be fair, you know, we've seen that from guys in our cage alone, like Miguel Barrientos against Zeke Elimination, who same exact scenario, and Miguel even got elevated in the process and was able to hold on to the guillotine, and that won him a 155-pound amateur title back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's certainly a risk factor.
Oh.
And it's also, I guess, something that you don't have as much risk from the amateur side of things, not worrying about an elbow dropping down on your head right there from that position, being a little bit lower on the outside. But very strong first round here for Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez looking good. 10-9 Rodriguez in this round for sure.
You've got some blood drawn from the face of Nevarez in the process. Now, if you're here in the Zingano corner for Nevarez, what are you looking for your fighter to do now that the second round comes away? How are you getting his heart rate back down now that you know that you're in a fist fight now? What is the next move?
I think, you know, he's kind of seen the best of what Rodriguez has. He's kind of got the game plan down now. So it's like, look, you know, he wants to get you to the cage and take you down. Move your feet, stay off the cage, work off your jab, and control the center. Now the question is he going to be able to do that? We'll find out here as this next round starts.
Something that we're also going to have to keep an eye on in the process is the potential for an adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that's always a factor for early fighters. How well can you manage that in the process? Can you talk about that feeling?
Yeah, man, I know personally, I've experienced it, you know, in my first and second amateur fights. It's a tough thing to come back from. You kind of just fight off your will and heart at that point and make it happen. But these guys both look scrappy, and I don't think that's going to faze them.
Big exchange right there in the center of the cage.
Nice low kicks by Nevarez. Look, there he is back on the cage. He's got to move his feet here.
Work angles, right, instead of going straight back.
Because you know that,
a couple of big punches from each guy land in the pocket.
You know the takedown's coming.
That lead leg is hurt.
Yeah, coach is calling for it. He sees the leg is hurt. He wants him to go after it.
Oh. Big right hand, though, lands for Nevarez in the process. That's sometimes the trouble of going for a naked leg kick, right?
Yeah, you got to set those up, man. He's got to feint. He's got to pump that jab and then attack that leg. He gets countered again. And for Nevarez, man, if he just sits down on a good 2 while he's kicking, you know, that can be a game changer.
Certainly, and both of these guys are kind of throwing for broke with everything, and that's typical to see when they're at this early stage.
There's the double again. He's got his hands locked.
His hips are a little bit far out. He could drop with the hips and get his back straight to be able to secure this little more pump and dump off of the cage, and there we go.
Yeah, beautiful work by Rodriguez. He gets back to his game plan.
Now what he could start to do, what Rodriguez could start to do with Nevarez is put his head in that dead space, right? Use the head position and then kind of put his head in the corner of the cage, which there we go. We see a little bit of rotation right there to put it right in that tough spot.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're fighting in the cage, and, you know, these guys will gain the experience and kind of be more aware of those options, you know.
We're starting to look to see a pass. Now we have Rodriguez move it over into half guard, looking to set up a head and arm here up against the fence. Tough angle, but that rotation right there was strong to be able to get him in a position to start to work it. Now he can finish it from this half guard. It's a little bit more difficult, especially with the phone being answered, but if he understands where to pin the hip, that could make it very difficult.
He's panicking. It looks like it's pretty tight.
Got enough of a scramble, but now you have Rodriguez working to the back position. He's got one hook in.
Yeah, that arm triangle made him have to bail in a way that gave his back. Now Rodriguez is in on the choke. It's
got that palm-to-palm head and arm choke.
10 seconds.
Excuse me, rear naked choke, I should say. Looks like Nevarez is going to survive the round here.
Another good round for Rodriguez.
Good round for Rodriguez, but I do feel like some of those exchanges at least got some respect back for Nevarez.
Oh yeah. He landed a couple good crosses on those kicks and staggered Rodriguez. I think at this point, you know, he's got to feel like he's down 2. He's got to get a finish here in the 3rd, so you got to just, you know, have him go for broke.
Absolutely. Sense of urgency is what I'm picking up from what you're saying right there.
Yeah, definitely.
And 3rd and final round.
Nice high kick by Nevarez. He's in on the guillotine again. This one looks kind of tight. His head's popping out, though.
Yep, head's popping out. It's a lot tougher to secure that guillotine later on in the fight once you're a little bit slippery.
Oh, that is tight.
Well, you are seeing a little bit of panic right now coming from Rodriguez. Wow, what a come from behind victory for Nevarez in the process.
Very
impressive. Hey,
Very
that's why you never quit, right? That's why you stay in it all the way until that final bell.
Yeah, and I'm sure his coach has probably told him, hey, man, you're down 2. Get out there and get it done.
And, you know, we talked about, though, shooting with the head low on the outside where that does present some issues. And this time, there wasn't the fence.
Yep.
He was a lot more in the center of the cage, and it played out with that exact risk factor that we spoke to earlier on in the contest.
Yeah. But, I mean, as far as Rodriguez, keep your head up, man, because you looked very good. That's a tough loss to take, right, especially when you know you were winning the fight. But good experience for both gentlemen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's right away setting the tone. That's a potential fight of the day contender right there. That you have a come from behind victory in that sense.
Yeah, that's definitely probably comeback of the night right there. we'll see how these other fights play out. But I mean, third round comeback. It's very nice to see.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, I think it was definitive that it was a 2018 bout going into that third round.
That's how I had it, at least.
These two warriors right here. That's how you start a fight card. Put it together for these two guys right here. My God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your referee Tim Mills steps in at 23 seconds of round number 3. Declaring your winner via submission via guillotine, Bradley Nevarez.
Wow, and what a bout, folks. What a bout. That gets us through one on the day so far. We're rolling through the action fairly quickly today. We got timeline to meet per the commission here. So our next bout will be being introduced here momentarily. If you want to follow along for those post-fight interviews with our winners today, make sure that you're following us on social media. That is CO Combat